In 1873, work began on a revolutionary care centre to treat patients suffering from mental illness at St Crispin's Hospital in the parish of Upton, Northampton. The site was entirely self-contained and had its own chapel. Sadly, the site fell into decline and closed in 1995, sold off for development. The chapel was sold to the Greek Orthodox Church in 1998, but the sale did not include the graveyard. Over the years, the graveyard has become overgrown, and it was feared the graves were lost. This is where our story begins. This project is to recover the graves and turn the old graveyard into a public park to mark and respect the deceased. Today I met up with Upton Parish Vice Chair Andrew Holt to talk about the project. Good morning, Andrew. Would you like to tell me a bit about this project?
Okay, so this is a very 100-year-old garden, which is part of the larger hospital site of St Crispin, and really the project is around improving the area and making it into a community asset. So over the last couple of years, many people have tried to uncover all these stones and bring it back to some area that people can see the historical nature of the garden. And again, hopefully this time, hopefully we've got a lot of interest now, which has been generated through the works we've been doing up to this point. So today we're here really to sort of try and get people more engaged with what we're doing, show them that there is some history here, to then be able to use this event and some of the other things we've been doing to help us support, get some funding and get some more interest and wider engagement with WNC and some other interested parties.
So what's the next steps for this project, Andrew?
So the next steps, I think, are to collect today's event feedback, and we've obviously got the survey information that is going to be discussed at the next council meeting, and then that's to engage again with WNC and look to what the next stage is. So for me, and I think for council, it's about developing some costs about what we need to do, engaging with some other key stakeholders about what we can and can't do, because obviously this is an area of historical nature, therefore there are obviously things we can't do, and then really just sort of build that design together about what it's going to look like, and then obviously go out from there and get the works completed.
And what's your timescale? When would you like the next steps to happen?
Well, as soon as possible. Obviously, part of me, and I'm sure other members of the council are keen to move it forward as quickly as possible. But we need to be realistic that obviously there's guidance and rules and regulations that we have to follow within an area that's a consecrated area. As I say, I think the next steps is really just sort of get the funding by the end of the year, sort of make the application and engage with the other stakeholders over the summer and promote what we've done today, so that again we can keep that interest up. And then obviously the other important thing is, while all that's happening, is making sure the maintenance of this garden is kept up, so that we're not going back a step once we start the actual works.
Lovely. Anything else you'd like to add, Andrew?
Just thank you for everybody that's turned up. Thank you for all the other councillors. Obviously I know they're all interested in their support. We all support each other, which is great, and I think we're a good team, and I think this demonstrates it when we have events like this and other events we've done, that there is a lot of community interest and engagement.
Well, on behalf of the local community, Andrew, thank you for doing this, and thank you for putting your time into it. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
So I'm here today with Alan Botwood, who is the chair of the Friends of the Graveyard here, who used to be a borough councillor for this area previously. Alan, can you tell me a little bit about your involvement in this project, please?
Yeah, I joined Upton Parish in about 2000, and we did various things, and we formed a group to help uncover all the plaques, because it was pointed out by a local PCSO that there were hidden plaques down here, and nobody was aware of the history. Since then we've tried several times, and now we're on our probably the fourth or fifth attempt, and we do have the backing of the Parish Council of Upton, and we also have the backing of Northamptonshire Council. So we're hoping to be able to move it forward. On balance, we think there are about 250 plaques that we can uncover. Many of them we know roughly where they are, and a topographical survey has been done. So now we want to move it forward to try and get some different landscape done to keep the plaques visible and give a history of what's going on. There are other areas that we're looking at because we know that there was roughly 25,000 soldiers went through St Crispin Hospital. We have no records or any evidence at the moment that any of them, even if they died in the hospital, are buried here. So the whole project is quite a thing to build up, so the people of Upton know the history of the church and the cemetery is in their parish.
So how long have you been involved with this, Alan?
Since originally about 2000, year 2000. I got involved with Upton Parish Council first, and then I got elected to the Borough Council. I was on the Borough Council for 11 years. I then was on Duston Parish Council. I've subsequently given that up, and I now am working with Upton Parish Council as chair of the Friends of St Crispin Cemetery.
So what would you like to see happen here, Alan?
Well, I think the whole thing needs landscaping properly so that people can come here and reflect on what took place within the hospital. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of buildings that have been demolished, but there are still some very historic buildings around the area, which a lot of people, even the people that live here, have no idea what it was all about. But St Crispin Hospital, as a standalone unit, on all the land from the old A45, which is now the A4500, right the way up to Griffiths Close up Berrywood Road, belonged to the hospital. They had their own farm, their own laundry, their own fire engine, and they were completely self-sufficient. What we want to do is bring all that history to work with Upton Parish Council so that they have it, so it is never lost. It's always part of the story.
So I understand that the pre-NHS site that was here was revolutionary in how it treated people with mental health conditions. I think it would be a fabulous thing to record on that. So all it remains for me to say is thank you very much for all you've done from the community for this project, and thank you for your time today.
That's fine, and thank you, Nick. I'd also like to thank everybody that's turned out, because we've never had this many people turn out for any of the previous sessions. So long may it continue.